for American cricket began in 2021.
There he goes into a dive! What a catch!
The rise of cricket was celebrated across the country. Now, with big wickets and even bigger hits, the stars of minor league cricket are back and better than ever.
Primus goes huge!
Don't miss the nation's largest league competing for the biggest prize in American cricket. The Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship returns June 25th.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. This is Jimmy Ankle, along with my young colleague here, Suhas Vedam, all the way from India. Welcome, Suhas.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we're here on a bright and sunny day in the wonderful city of San Diego, California. Beautiful 79 degrees at Canyonside State Park here. The breeze blowing from the west, which is the ocean. Eucalyptus trees in the background. Couldn't get better than this. For those tuning in, welcome. This is going to be a single camera, so I'll make it clear to you right now. You're probably going to hear more of radio commentary than television. But we'll make do with what we have. San Diego Surf Riders out in the field, sprightly group of 11. Green, not too much, but certainly we'll have to see how this goes. It's a relatively new wicket here at San Diego. They've got 3 turf wickets, and we'll have to take a look at how this performs. We really haven't had much cricket on this pitch, so we'll have to literally see. Umpire Pankaj, and we've got Dan on the other side, leg umpire, and commencing bowling operations from the reserve end. That's the far end, where the commentator's box are located at the tennis court end. And we'll have Zubair starting off operations. So here's the first ball. Here we go. Zubair to Saidi. And what do you know? The first ball goes bang over cow corner. A few bounces over the ropes. What a way to start. Off to the races we go. Saidi Ganesh. First ball, slow. Just sitting up there, waiting to be hammered on the back foot, and doesn't have any problem. None for 4. And Zubair, who's known to really start well, I guess would like to have that ball back. Not to be. Saidi Ganesh settling in here. Zubair trotting in. Again, short. A little bit of outswing, and the batsman on the back foot just pushes it out to short cover. Sri Krishna, that's Tondale, picks the ball up. A little chipper and chatter around, and that's typical of any team in the first few overs, and then it settles down and the game of cricket continues. A slip, short third man, and backward point. Cover mid-off, deep mid-on on the fence, short mid-wicket, deep backward square leg, and fine leg. This one short again, and it's pulled. And this should be 4 again. You cannot bowl short in the ball. And so 3 balls, 8 runs. Certainly not a good start for San Diego. Zubair's going to have to rethink his bowling option here. Short on a very slow wicket. So far, Suhas, for 3 balls that we've seen, the pitch is holding up, but it seems to be slow. So anything short of length is going to be taken out to the cleaners.
Good afternoon, everyone watching. Absolutely, Jimmy. Anything short, it deserves to be hit away on this kind of a track. Saideep Ganesh is crouching. Poor delivery. The umpire will exercise his arms. Iftikhar, the keeper, does get a hand to it. He's taken some pace of it. Enough for Sri Anantaraju to get to it and eventually dispatch the throw. White signaled an easy run without a ball being counted. And of course, David White will ensure he takes the strike too. Scampering through for a single there. Saideep Ganesh believing in David White, not looking back on that occasion. Jimmy, there is some swing on this track. We've already seen that. Now there is some swing that's also owing to the wind that's beautifully blowing from left to right.
And so, as for those who may be hearing a lot of crackle on the microphone, we do apologize. There is a lot of wind, and we are not in an airtight box here. So we are experiencing. I understand in the first few balls already getting a little feedback saying that we're getting a little noise. So bear with us, folks. We'll try and make the best of the situation here. So the next ball was taking David White on the pads. Zubair again. Probably the last ball of the over here. Outside the off stump, just pushed out very gently. Ajay Sharma comes rushing in, left arm, flicks it into Iftikhar. There will be one more ball, I guess, because there was a wide in this. So Zubair beginning to settle in. A couple of really, really loose giveaways. And very, very promptly taken to the cleaners by Saideep Ganesh. Here we go again. Zubair. This one again, short, pulled high. Very safely, though, and there's been a long, long chase, and it looks like we will get to the ball. No, it's over the fence. 3 4s in this over. Certainly not the start that San Diego would like, but you've got to say that this was a pretty mediocre start. Yeah, you've got to pitch the ball up. You've got to push the ball into the zone and get the batsman to come forward. But I believe we go to commercial break here. Alrighty, we go into the second over. Saideep facing Harish Kakani. It's none for 14. Suhas.
Too short for Zubair's liking the first over. And every time it was pitched short, Saideep's eyes went agog. Loves to swivel anyway, and he's a man in tremendous touch. Someone who's raring to go too after the last game against the Strikers. Harish Kakani steaming in there. This is from the reserve. Tennis court end. Width on offer, just over point. And the ball will have enough fuel to reach the fence. Harish Kakani gets that opportunity first up. But Saideep Ganesh takes him on. Good attacking cricket here. East Bay Blazers off to a flying start.
As I said, Suhas, you've got to get the batsman forward. This is not the type of wicket where you can bowl short. It is extremely slow so far. The ball's sitting up there. Harish is going to have to push the ball a little forward. At the same time, you don't want to give the batsman the opportunity to send it over the inside court. And here it is, short again, cut, and should be 4 more. This is down, clear gap there, wide, gaping hole between third man and cover point, and it's 4 more runs. This is certainly a run feast here. 8 runs, first 2 balls. The first one just clearing a point where Ajay Sharma, who certainly is not the tallest here, if that was a Sri Krishna, perhaps that ball would have gone safely into his hands, but not to be. Cricket's a game of glorious uncertainty, as we all know. And good effort here. Strengthening of the offside there. You've got a short third man, cover point, cover mid-off on the offside. Captain Greg A at mid-on. Devam being pushed around, and let's see, he's also gone on the offside, so he's going to have only two men. We've got a mid-on and a fine leg, so Devam gets it. They're really strengthening that offside.
Hey, the first over, so they saw some swing, and there's some movement off the deck as well, but the battery has been excellent by crouching so low, beautifully threaded. Fielder eventually gets around it, the single is negated. Crouch so much. He's got nice low hands. Comes from the Bangalore school of batting.
Well, Suhas, that's where I came from too, but I can assure you I was not smelling. I must have been sniffing. But yes, I do agree with you. He's got that low stance, which, in today's cricket particularly, you see people more upright, but he does have that low stance. In fact, he gets up very, very late. Harish again, this one's coming into the batsman. Just a quick push on the offside and should be an easy single. It made it look a little harder than it was.
Should Sri have gone for that throw? And more often than not hits it directly. This occasion decided to hold it back. The bowler Kakani definitely thought the throw was on Saidip Ganesh because he knows how hard he's hit it and called for the run and was running towards the danger and makes it comfortably in the end because the throw wasn't dispatched. It's good to see Saidip Ganesh looking at other denominations for scoring runs as well. Every time the ball's been pitched wide or short, he's gone after it, got a boundary for himself and his side. And it's a good delivery. It's important to negate that additional risk and try and play it down the ground, pick up a single at least and not let it be a dot ball. Now watches it go. It's not very ubiquitous in T20 format. You're watching it go. Perhaps this one didn't bounce as much as well. So is there a different track altogether when the ball is in from the tennis court end?
I think it's about the same. It is keeping. That one did go over the stump height, so I wouldn't call it really low. I think he just put a little less pace on the ball, and perhaps that's why it didn't take off as much. But here we go again with Harish. Nice smooth action. This one's up and beautifully played. It should be down there. And it's well stopped there. Very well stopped by tall Shreet. For him to get down from that 6'5" is quite an achievement. So very well stopped to get a single. And so looks like we already have a change in bowling. And yes, it's spin right away in the third over. Now, this is going to be really interesting, Suhas. You've got Ajay Sharma, wily old guy, and I'm going to call him an old guy because he's over 40. And in this form of cricket, 40 years old is right up there. But it's very interesting because you'll find him bowling almost with a run-up that looks like a right-arm spinner. And then you don't expect it to come out of the left hand. But, coming back to your the Bangalore school of cricket and stuff like that, many of us old fellas were coached by the same coach, Keki Tarapo. I remember, everyone from the likes of Rahul Dravid and Carlton Saldana and others whom I'm sure you know, Suhas, and we were always given that stay. In 2020 overs.
It's a false start. Ajay Now, Greg Hay, the captain of San Diego Surf Riders. Zubair's gone for 14, and Harish has gone for 11. What does he do? Poor ball. That's been swiveled away for 4 beyond the square leg fence. Beautiful shot. It is just in front of the square leg fence. It falls. Umpire Daniel having no hesitation there. The 2 umpires that we have today, Daniel and Pankaj. Pankaj, of course, is the one who signaled this one. It's important for Ajay to bowl in the right areas. Anything short and have a run fest. And this one was hit slightly up in the air. Now, because there was a long on in place and not a mid-on, the shot was on. David White is someone who's got lovely long levers. He loves to just extend his arms and go through the line of the ball. Gets the elevation more often than not to send it sailing for 6. Very interesting to see how he tackles spin over here. Someone who's been given the license to be a little watchful as well.
Well, this is a rather small boundary, so you could free the arms and let it go, and it should sail over. But here's Ajay again, left arm, quicker through the air, steered into the short cover. That should be a very close one if it was picked up and really flung in there by skipper Greg Hay. Unfortunately, the throw a little wayward, and if the car just couldn't even get close to it, so it's retrieved by Sri Krishna. Single nonetheless. That was a little bit risky in my opinion, but who am I to say? The batsmen know their capability. Here's Ajay again. This time to Sadiq. Oh, that ball did pop, and showing a little sign of something happening. That's the first time we've actually seen the ball move and pop, and you can see the results. Slow it down.
The first question out of syllabus. Here comes the second one. He's got a big heart, Ajay. I think he's listening to you as well, Jimmy. He slowed it down slightly. He senses that Saidib's sensational towards the leg side. Anything in the arc, he'll try and target the leg side boundary. And he's slowing it down for the batter to miscue. This one bounced a little bit more, just in front of them. There were my point, tried to curb it. Will be a single eventually. 3 overs gone. 32 for them.
Well, Greg's retained his confidence in Harish Kakani, who will operate from the end. He'll be bowling to Saidib, and Saidib is now at 23 and 12, almost batting at 200. Here he is, taking on Harish. This one's pushing the air, a little bit short of Greg, who dives to his right. That's a good stop there by the captain of the San Diego Surf Riders. They do get a single. That was 4 all the way until Greg flung himself to his right. So good intent, good sort of a comeback from San Diego. They haven't really, got their rhythm, if one could say that. But certainly nice to see that the first ball didn't go for a force. So as
Jimmy, about momentum. Try and steal momentum as much as possible. Chance of a run out of the non-striker's end. But looks like a direct hit would have also saved Saidib, who was quick to turn around and back to that too. So quick, despite that little stop and turn, was able to make it in time. Important runs for his leading to the front.
yes, that's what you want to do. You want to lead from it by example. This is a very, very young, rather inexperienced team, but it's a fantastic group of individuals. This one well over it. That was a good bit of cricket from David. Not trying to push the ball too hard. He just those soft hands, and that's exactly what you need. 2020 is not all about sixes and fours. You've got to take those quick singles. People from, of course, the highest level of cricket. You look at people like Virat Kohli, even Mahendra Singh Dhoni. They get so many of their runs with those ones that convert into twos and twos. Short makes room. This one was coming in topside. Worth the risk, in my opinion, sir.
Best part of the bat inside the first swivel that doesn't guarantee a bounce inside him. He's been so good to watch so far. Catch it is the ball. How is the question? It's gone over. Shot third man, Devam. It'll be four. This is what you sign up for when you watch Saideep in that two in full floor. You can play all the shots in the book and some in the supplementary sheets as well. End of the fourth over. 40 for no loss.
That first ball of the fifth over again. Ajay Sharma finding that little loop, taking it a little slower through the air, and beating the bat of David White. And the next one has, of course, been, as I said, short gets the treatment. Four more runs. So a fantastic start here by Blazers. 44 for no loss. For 15. Saideep Ganesh, and David White, not to be left behind, is 12 of 9. So here's Ajay really trying to rethink the way he big shout out to Sonoko. Surf Riders taking on East Bay. This one short and came up well over race high, Suhas.
So whenever the spinner has operated from the reserve end, there have been events to exorcise from this pitch. It's the second time David White, remember, is vertically blessed, yet it bounced a little more for him. Again, the captain lifting himself. He's got a bit of laundry to do. Unbelievable commitment from Wicket. And that's what he wants to see from the boys as well. David White is a big striker of the ball, but initially loves to take his time, loves to get the innings going, build an innings. Strikes at about 123 with an average of 32.5. This will sneak through the wall of covers. He's also looking for the second run. Excellent running between the wickets. Look at the way Saideep responded. David White knows how hard he's hit it. Sadeep trusting his partner, coming back for the second. And 2 runs for that shot. Usually it's 1 for the shot, 1 for the throw. 2 runs for the shot just tells you how good a runner David White is. Mentioning Jimmy, 123 is not a big strike rate. But it's something that improves as he carries on. 46 for no loss at the end of 5.
Well, a change at the tennis court end here. Second spinner to come on. And, young Canadian out here. Datta takes over from Harish Kakani. So none for 46 at the end of 5 overs. Slowly settling into a certain rhythm here after a flourish in the first 2 overs where 25 runs were stolen off the San Diego Surfrider team that pretty much had very little time to wake up. East Bay was off the blocks really fast. Sadeep takes his guard again, makes sure that he's got the right guard, probably batting middle and leg here. Harish is like a mystery spinner. He throws in the odd leg spin, mostly an off spinner, bowls good. And he will be bowling from the tennis court end. The on-field umpires, Daniel Meredith and Pankaj Chowdhury, as the first ball has been pushed down to its mid-on. Plenty of time for an effortless single. None for 47. 31 to Sadeep Ganesh. Batting very, very effortlessly. They're making it look so effortless. Taking the singles at the right time, waiting for those loose balls, which especially at the beginning were there for the asking. Basically fed to them, Suhas.
Absolutely, San Diego Surfriders have nobody else that makes sense to play, especially the length that they were bowling is in the first over. Zubair was providing the extra bit of pace, but the wrong length meant it's easier to put away. Clean this up. First 6 overs, remember, only 2 fielders were allowed to patrol the boundary row. It's the first power play. David White is settling down. It's a good sign for the East Bay Blazers. He trots for a single on the at the non-strikers end. It's going to be Sadeep Ganesh. Who I get a feeling he's got a measure of what this side, this end of the track has to offer. Very good delivery. Spinners have done the job so far, but still searching for the first gap. A poor ball, and that has been easily sent away. Behind square leg, 4 for the taking. Sadeep Ganesh, hold your pose. It's just astonishing the way he sits down just at the right time, but doesn't give it away that it's premeditated. And the back percentage he has on it while playing shots of this kind is just terrific to watch. 50 comes up for the East Bay Blazers. A great start.
Yeah, this is another sorry tale. Unfortunately, we're playing in a beautiful natural reserve out here at Canyonside Park, and one of the problems, Suhas, is you lose a heck of a lot of balls. Fortunately, this one has been retrieved. I remember, Suhas, we were watching the San Diego Surfriders practice the other day, and it wasn't more than 5 or 10 minutes, and 5 balls went into the reserve, and I guess the reserve is preserving it. One of the things I've noticed is whenever the spinner, whether it's Harish, whether it's Nickel or Ajay, whenever they put the ball above the eye line, they capture bounce and turn, and when they bowl the ball short and fast, here we go. Last ball of the over. This one's nicely curved up, and see, that's what you get. Yeah, sure, it was played all along the ground, but it's a single. And these are the type of balls where you bring the batsman forward. They've got to push it, and inevitably, at a certain time, they're going to push the ball in the air. But when you bowl really short, not much hope other than a rank bad shot that goes into someone's hand. But otherwise, you're giving away 4 runs. Last ball of Harish. Short. This one's pushed a little bit into the upper, a little bit high, but not really a problem because there's no one in that short mid-wicket area. So end of another over from San Diego. At none for 54. Saeed's still on a rampage here, batting at about 180, 36 of 20 balls, and David taking his time, 15 of 15. The score. Quick at this one. And has Saeed scoring back second. So a pretty good return and run back. But again, that was an interesting attempted scoop. kind of got it all. And nevertheless, 2 more runs. 9 for 60. The score just ticking away. David again, quick on. This one's gone high in the air. That could be a possible catch, but no, it's dropped well short there of Shri. Brings it in. Sun in his eye, and he didn't really want to take it on. I don't blame him, Suhas. That he's fielding on the side of the ground that has coming up here. And it's the end of the 7th, 9 for 61.
61 for no loss in 7. Work to do for man in the deep. It's square leg. He lets it go. It's 4. First ball boundary. Just what we did for. David White's also started to unfurl his shots. These are great signs for East Bay Blazers, who've already gotten a fantastic start. 66 now. The score moves on to that boundary. Greg Hay having a word with the youngster Vedant right away. Boundary of the first ball. Pressure. Yeah, no, on the short side, and the ball disappears. Two balls, 10 runs. San Diego Surprise to look to pick up the 1-2 here. They've got to get some momentum. David White's also garnering the attention of his teammates. Then the big sticking to his basics. Not turning it away. Come back delivery after being hit away for 2 big shots. Because he knows the runs have already come by so far. 11 runs to the first. Straight to point. And the single has been available. Ganesh. That's not from the middle of the bat, but it's still gone for that single. Throw with the non-strikers end, and Saideep will make it with ease in the end. End of a very eventful over for Vedant. 74 for no loss. At the moment, East Bay Blazers are cruising to a fantastic total.
Wild swing by. Totally misses it. And lucky to be in there because the ball was hitting through. Devon again, taking his time. Puts this one short, and that's going to be punished, and it is. It's gone high. It could be a catch, and he's gone. That's the first wicket gone there. I'll be ready. Now that's what happens when you bowl slow, when you put it up there. This ball was not short, but it had Saidi rocking back and pulling it to the far boundary. Actually, it's one of the longer boundaries here. And so San Diego strikes finally in a brilliant partnership. It was a very well constructed 74 here, 37 of 26 balls. Sorry, 38 of 26. You got to take credit for a very, very good start. And here we are. San Diego finally striking. Hopefully this gives them a little boost, but if they only knew what's still to come, I think they'd be less enthusiastic. But anyway, it's always great to take a wicket in any form of the game. If it's the first or the last person, I think we're always energized. So Mark Dayal, the new batsman in. The two have a very, very good record. Projected score at this stage is 182. And from what I understand from our curator, Raj Ghai, that's about par. 175 is what he said, Suhas.
Yes, Jimmy, 175, but I think it did take into account a start of this kind from East Bay Blazers. 74 for 1. Yes, they've lost wicket, but in comes Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship with a splendid 55 of just 19 in his very first outing in Seattle against the Thunderbolts. Slightly going at with hard hands, going at it. Ananta Raju quick to swoop towards the ball. David White wanted that single, rightfully negated. Didn't want any drama there. Good player of spin. And this is why, hold your shape, side out, no protection. Wonderful shot for ball.
That's a brilliant start there. Took his time, looked at a couple of balls, and that one was middle. He moved across and effortlessly lofted it over extra cover 4. Puts a little dampener on the recent wicket taker here. Devon bowling to a left-handed. That's better. Devon bowling from the far end here. Again, this one is well pitched up. Good ball. And a little bit of mix-up here. Mark sent back. But a little bit of a mix-up. The batsman decided to go have a chat out in the middle. And that's what they should do. Just use the situation. We get Gunnerlin running high here. And all you need is someone who's been out there. Quicker through the air, short, cut to short third man, loud call. That's what they really should be doing. Vedant picks it up. And another good over. Shivam's been Tatum's been doing pretty well out here. He's and we'll move it to 8 over.
9 overs gone, 78 for 1. Vedant will continue from the tennis court end. A puff of dust. We're in Cannonside Park or Palakili. David White is still concentrating on the singles. In 2022 Minor League Cricket Championship, the way he started off the 2022 Minor League Cricket Championship against Seattle Thunderbolts, 55 of 19. Loved the ball coming onto the bat, especially the baseman for an operation, and the spinner's a little differently by milking the bowling. Today, what is his approach? He's inheriting a scorecard that he'll be proud of. Saidip Ganesh had already done his job by providing a terrific start to the play. Extra bit of height, lovely release, and he's got two different kinds of leverage. One which is pushed through quicker, one which is deliberately slower. Expecting Makhaya a little wider. That is much better. Slowed it down too. Mark Dayal expected it to be quicker. He realized the ball hadn't arrived. He's asking some probing questions now. Mark Dayal, will he go for his favorite shot? Inside out. It's quite content. The single Mark Dayal's off the mark. In this over, that is. Feeling a little strangled Mark Dayal. But he wanted runs off the bat. This is where if the car's got to be a little better, he was expecting the ball to be bowled quicker. Vedant has missed his mark once again. 2 wides in this. This has been a perpetual problem. Already on its way. Mark Dayal decides again, even though the throw was arriving in installments, end the over. Or perhaps no, there's another one. Remember, that extra deliveries, the 2 wides for the means 2 extra deliveries. Oh, but David, shot. He sliced it through point, and that will reach the fence. Once it beat the point fielder by about 4 yards towards his right. Travel for 4. At the halfway stage, 88 for 1. Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. We've been treated with some excellent brand of cricket. Straight to the captain break. Hey, Mark Deal's favored the leg side more, Jimmy, in this over. In the previous over, that is. It would be interesting to see what his approach is in this over, because the leg side still kept open. Two dot deliveries strung together slightly. Play. Have never been strangled. They've been quite contented, breathing freely, as things have been available so easily to them. Make it three with extra bit of bounce as well. Very good bowling.
Really, pushing the ball outside the off stump, changing his line and length. Got to hold it now. No, that's short. That ball did kick up. Not happy, Mark Leal. That was the ball that did rear up, and I wonder whether that was because of Devam's height, whether that was something that. So far the pitch. He's bowled a pretty tired, pretty tight length there. And, the score's at 90 for 1, and Devam's now sent down 3 over 1 for 9, which is pretty good. 1 for 1 for 11, I correct myself, as we take a commercial break. Change of bowling here from the tennis court end. Abhinav Reddy is the bowler. And, taking him on is a very well set David. David White, really contained innings, and yet at a pretty good clip, 25 of 25. East Bay off to a rocker here. On 6, this one short outside the off stump. Gets well over it. That's a good shot. Right on top of the ball. Devam's got a long chase and does finally make it, but the batsman should get 3 runs for this, and it's a long ways off. A good throw by Devam. Very good throw. 3 runs nonetheless. And 1 for 93. David White up to 20 off. Shout out to the San Diego sponsors, Westpac partners, City University of Seattle, Cicintelli, Pro West Metro, Site Gym, Netizen, MCT Love, InnoSmart, and Clara. The outside edge, that should be 4 runs. That's really hard for the bowler when the ball takes the outside edge. And it is also a slope. It almost looks like the Lord's ground where the ball just slopes and runs away, and there's nothing you can do. It's not even worth chasing the ball. 4 runs. Lucky 4, but 4 nonetheless. It nudges up Mark's score. Mark Dial taking his time. Elegant left-handed batsman. This one again outside the off stump. Mark pushing at it. Doesn't make contact. And the ball is already being shuffled back to the bowler. Again, San Diego, one stage. But that's just when you think it's coming back into a reasonable run rate, off goes fireworks, and the ball runs away from you. Abhi again. This one's a slower ball outside the off stump, cracked through the backward point area, and that's 4. That is a very, very good shot all around the ground. Mark beginning to flex his muscle here, showing that his 10 runs or 14 balls was just a little loose, but now taking on the bowlers with a flurry. One thing that I notice is bowlers tend to just literally amble up, and it's pretty tough. And that one should be out of the ground. Full toss. Deserves punishment, and punishment it gets. First 6 David did have one. Thank you, sir. And should that bring up the 100? Or we still? Yep, that's the 100. And what a great start there for the East Bay Blazers into the car park. We're going to have to go fetch that ball. Tremendous shot. The umpires for today, Pankaj Chowdhury and Daniel Meredith. Third umpire is Shivaputra Kulkarni and match manager Bandula. So here we go again. It's been an expensive over so far. 14 runs already. And Mark Dial helping himself to 2 boundaries and 1 over the fence. This one again is hit cracked over covers. That should be 4 more unless it's picked up, which it is. A single. Good coverage there. Good coverage there from Harish. End of the over. 19 runs off this. And San Diego not too happy with the score here. Projected score now running at about 180. We'll be right back. On the wicket, this one is short outside the off stump, cut away, and that should be at least a single, if not 2. Nope, the batsmen decide one's good enough as it penetrates the inside court and goes out to the sweeper and wide extra cover. Single takes us up to 1 for 109 to 12.10. Got to give it to the young lad, Devam Shukla. 3 overs, 1 overs, 1. 9 runs and over, I'd say. Devam. Short, outside the leg stump. One of the things, overawed by the situation, and the result is pushing it through fast. I'd really like to see them bowling in rhythm, getting it over the eye line. But there's always that worry that if you pushed it too slow, you'd be hit, and so there you go again. But this one was good. It was coming in very, very sharp.
White is particularly blessed. He's got a bigger reach compared to good work by square leg. Devam's done so well with this over two. All his players are going for runs, and here is one man shot. Devam Srivastava would be itchy to get a boundary in this over. He knows the boundary ball hasn't come by in this over. Or doesn't get the boundary, will only get a single. A big shout out to Toyota. The second year running, they're the title sponsor for this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. It's because of their support that we're able to take this game to a global reach, and not just attain global reach, but also make it a household name as the tournament progresses. Fantastic shot. Venturing out, manufacturing a little bit of room while he did so. David White's got the boundary ball away in this over. And you could see what it means to him at the side. Much needed. Which other over. Six runs of the over. Down, Pankaj said, no, that wasn't going on to hit the stumps. That was a good over to start with. Eventually, David White getting a boundary, milking the bowling before that. A good spell comes to an end with Devan Sharma's 4 of 21 runs, 4 overs, 21 runs, and a wicket to show. 5.3 as well. At the end of 13, 118 for one.
Leg spinner Vedan back in action. First ball outside the off stump, spinning, but the batsman expected a little bit more of that. Straight through to the keeper. So at the end of 13 overs, 1 for 118 East Bay Blazers. Cantering wrong. This one again, short outside the off stump, smack to the sweeper out there at deep cover for a single. Again, Suhas could be repeating this till the cows come home, but if you're a spinner, you're supposed to focus on spinning the ball, slowing it down, pushing a fast one through. Vedant needs to learn that every ball doesn't have to be fast. You're not Anil Kumble or B.S. Chandrasekhar. You've got to get that ball to grip. And the way to get the ball to grip is you've got to push it above the eye line. And that's what a spinner is supposed to do. The spinner is supposed to bring the batsman out. The spinner is supposed to deceive people in the air. That's a much better ball down the leg side. If it was on the off, that would have been better, but it was middle and leg. Actually, it was a little outside the leg stump, and I think it's lucky for him that the batsman missed out on it. But slightly better. I really would like to see him getting the bat ball in that area where the batsman has to think twice. But that's a much better ball. Nicely played, though. Beautiful shot. That should be 4 unless it's... No, that's pretty poor fielding there. Rank bad fielding. Be ready, I guess. Not willing to put his body on the line with the ground, the dirt of the softball field. But 4 more runs nevertheless, and the score just moving on. 1 for 123. Vedan Jain. David White looking for that 50, taking on the next ball. And is that going to be it? Yes, it is. Down the wicket. A single effortlessly to Dondale, and a very, very well played 50. Excellent, excellent innings. And rightfully raises his bat. So has a good 50, I would say.
Jimmy. And he also realizes that there's a bigger job to be done over here. He understands he's reached a yardstick of measurement when it comes to what he sets for himself. He wanted a 50 in this game. He's got one, but very subdued celebrations. The way he went through the grind, just putting away the bat balls, looking for singles and doubles. Oh, if the car couldn't keep it down as a keeper, that was too good a delivery. You know you've bowled one when it's not just the batter, but the keeper is also in trouble. And Diego served right as they're creating those mini moments, but not latching on to them. The end of 14.
So Nickel Dutta brought into the attack after a good spell from Devam. This one is short. Oh, that's a rank bad ball. Short as short could be. Make short backward point. Really, really, really poor cricket here. And I'm sure Nickel wouldn't want to see that ball on television. So, like anyone else, the worst. East Bay Blazers. We have an excellent 50 of 33 balls from David White. Mature, taking his time. His 50s come at a strike rate of 119. 151 with 2 sixes and 5 fours. This one again short down the left side, flicked over. And again, picking the slow getting down on his knee and flicking it back. A single, which could have been putting a little bit more pressure on the batsman. Now up to 131. 1 for 131. That on a slow, reasonably good wicket. I wouldn't call this a bad wicket by any stretch. This one short again. Boy, the number of short balls we see. And this ball was nicely set up. I hardly see the ball bringing the batters forward. It's always been short. They've been able to go on their back foot, and because the wicket is rather slow, got all the time in the world to crack it. Nickel. This one down again. Outside the off stump. Swing for the ball.
Excellent. All around the world. In Abu Dhabi T10 or the CPL. But with this time. It's calling for the second run. The second one is an afterthought, but a little bit of a misfield would mean the second run would be completed. with a sense of ease. No problem at all. Mark Dayal returning quickly. 15 overs gone, 133 for 1. 15 overs gone, 133 for 1. East Bay Blazers, they've created the launch pad. 9 wickets in hand, 30 more balls to go. Would be looking to maximize this 133. Oh, nice. Protection in the deep with a fantastic field. Oh, it's gone through. His body on the line, get behind the ball. The ball skids through after it hits his palm. 4 for the taking. Just what the doctor wanted. David White and East Bay Blazers are bound to the first ball to set the tone nicely for the over. Vedant is going to learn quickly from this one. But David White would think a single would suffice in the situation. Now Vedant will have to group inside out. Targeted the cow corner region already. He'll target it again. Mark Dayal loves to swivel. And if it's a full toss, then it's going to go sailing over the head. Fabulous shot indeed. Why do you have to hit on either side of the ground when you can go straight down the ground and get at a comfortable height as well? Full toss is supposed to be juicy, and this was juicy. Not a low full toss, but a comfortable height meant it is deserving to go for 6. Not the over Vedant Jain wanted to finish his quarter of 4. Because you know, runs have combined in this over already. That single's been negated. Vedant quick to get to the ball himself. Big shout out to our tournament official sponsor, Dafa News. The man on the screen might as well make it to the front page of Dafa News. He's looking for the second one as well, and I think you got to read Dafa News if you want to look for more information on Mark Dayal and of course the man on strike at the moment, David White. He scored a terrific half century in tomorrow's front page. David White announced his arrival. What a shot! This will travel the distance to 2. Second 6 in the over, 1 for each batter. And David White, the most stylish of the two. Inside out, we were expecting from Mark Dayal, but it's David White who's got it out of his kitty. 150 comes up with the Blazers. 151 for 1.
East Bay Blazers blazing away here. 151. Projected score now at 188. So Suhas. I think we're looking more at 200 9 wicket in hand. So Mark Dayal beginning to flex his muscle. Dave White's been absolutely outstanding, smashing the ball. Vedan Jain rather expensive, 4 overs, 46 runs. But here's Nickel again. Short, swung around to the leg side. It was way outside the off stump, hitting against the spin. A single all the way down to deep mid wicket. One for 152. Mark Dayal moving quite effortlessly into his 40s. He's 41. 6 fours, 3 sixes. He's having a field day. He's really enjoying himself. Smacks another one out. Very well paced, and that's what differentiates. So, but why go for that if you can clear the fence? Yeah, this is a good ball. That one kicked up from a good length, and that could be more buys. In fact, Greg's after it. He gets 2 runs. Greg A chasing the ball. I think that could be buys. We're going to have to wait for the umpire's signal. Umpire Pankaj hasn't signaled anything yet. So I think that would actually come off the glove then. 2 runs to the score. Now, so I think if we do have to say anything about the pitch, the first time I thought it was Devon's height, but this is about the second or third time the ball has spat out of that area. Here, there's a good ball. This one's in the air, and I think it's in the air, but it could be airborne and over. That was another ball, beautifully picked up right into the trees, and that's a pretty good distance too. So I wouldn't say that's the closest to boundaries, but that's David helping himself to his 4th six.
That's the longest of the day. And he's got very swift hands too, David White. This one is not from the middle of the bat. Will it be taken land safely? David White will be thanking his stars. Come by.
That's really cruel, isn't it, Suhas? That ball sat up there in no man's land. Very, very frustrating for the bowler. Here we go again. This one's short. This one's lifted high, high, up, and out of the ground. Another 6. Turning out to be something that Nickel is really, really going to kick himself. He seems to be a little out of it, Nickel Dutta. He's been bowling almost like uninspired. His shoulders are drooping. The ball, as a result, is going short and short and short. Mark Dayal, being a left-hander, would love to see a short ball and promptly sends it over mid-wicket. Nickel again. Can he bring something better to the game? No, not at all. It's going to be cracked out to the sweeper there, who takes his time, goes down on one knee, and the batter's ready to come back for a second, but decides against it, and a very, very expensive over. They now looking clearly at a 200 score, and at the end of the 17th over, 168 for 1.
Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Shabab. To the manager, deep backward square. Vera. He's got him this time, played on. Mark, they are on the cusp of what would have been another century. It's played on. In his undoing. Second, this partnership, which was 90 more runs. Can this be the first of many more to come in Vincent's session? That is the only thing which will put the brakes on East Bay Blazers scoring, who at the moment are looking good for 200 plus with 8 wickets in hand. The captain now, Angelo Pereira. Now the official sponsors of this tournament, DAPA News, and Q to them. It's only because of them that get the word out so very well. And he gets to know about what David White did. The person reading gets to know. They get a fair share. Duffer News does. Thank you very much, Duffer News, for being a part of the journey. It's been a first delivery. Usually after a break, it's usually like a warm-up delivery. The money, even better.
We want to see seam up. We want to see some effort. Bend your back and can't do the above. He goes in here from the tennis court. Angelo Pereira, who cross bats this one outside the off stump, has a mighty swipe at it down to mid-on. Certainly didn't like that shot. He replays it. Yes, that was the right one to do. Straight over the bowler's head, but a single nonetheless gets him off the mark, troubles the scorers, and sends the very, very well set David White playing marvelous cricket here. 40 balls, 71 runs, smacking it to all parts of the field. He's had four sixes and 6 fours. What he can do for him. Yorkshire coming in and jab down very last minute. Now that's much better bowling, and I wish the surf riders were able to put a little bit more pressure on the batsmen with those type of balls versus these long hops and balls that all the time in the world. So here goes Kakani again.
Jimmy, what I love about so well, especially because Angelo was still new to the crease. Diego surprise. The wicket did fall, but the run flow continues. 180 for 2 at the end of 18.
Yeah, 11 or 4 balls. are very, very strong batting lineup. A little overawed by the situation. Forward. Putting it at a length instead of trying to think whether it goes forward or back. Here's Agnieszka. Shot again. This one over the shoulder. He's probably going to get the first. Yep, that's the first one over the shoulder. 500 signals it. Should be like that. Can he limit his question? Especially when you're in the 90s. Sound like it's a trap. Single. Oh, good throw. Hits the wicket straight on the full. Of course, David White was already past the wicket itself. So. But the great thing for the field, get the ball from boundary, a single nonetheless, good for 181.
By Agnesh Tondale. To be at your best. Starts with a two balls almost in a similar region. He's going at it with one hand. Balls. Slightly outside off. And he's gone back to the pavilion after a flash in the pan. It's up to David White to provide the crescendo finish. Angelo Pereira departs for 11. 181.
Go. So has 200 on the cards.
Moment it looked being his captain, and over with just one run and an important wicket towards the end. Agnesh Tondale has answered above and beyond his call of duty. David White is launched it straight up in the air. It's only got height. Will this be taken? It is. That's the end of a terrific innings. As David White, who's... Oh, it's Nawaz, I beg your pardon, on that occasion, who's played that shot. Slightly early in his innings. Sent out to do swing at everything and anything. Big moment in the game. As far as East Bay Blazers are concerned, they've got David White out there, and he'll also be at the business end. Can he provide the big finish?
Not only was it a wicket, that's a dot ball in the last over. So as we close down this innings, a special shout out to the sponsors, Westpac partners, City University of Seattle, Cicintelli, Pro West, Metroflex Oceanside Gym, Medicine, MC, EnnoSmart, and successful the San Diego bowlers, but 2 wickets to his credit will be bowling to David White, since they did cross over and the rule hasn't yet come into effect. Suhas, we've got the last 3 balls. This one is short, and David White hammers that ball over long on, 6 runs. Pick a bow. Daniel flourishes both arms up, touchdown. But it's actually 6 runs.
Oh, what a good shot. He's so good at picking the length up early. And no half measures when David White hits it. He's chosen the straighter boundaries. And it's never a good sign. Never a good sign when the leather ball has to be retrieved from the tennis court. That has gone many a mile. It's just the power of the man, David White. He's hitting it with a lot of power. And he's also seeing the ball so clearly. That is exactly why we said it is a blessing in disguise, that wicket for East Bay Blazers, as it was David White back at the business end, the striking end. Jaron Alfred has joined him. They're on strikers end at the moment. Jaron Alfred, he can pack a punch, loves to use his long levers. Straight up out of the ground is something he loves to explore. He is someone who can hit sixes at will, Jaron Alfred, and exactly why he's been sent in the final over, to try and get as many as possible if he gets an opportunity at the striker's end. Might be Nawaz's wicket. If that would have fallen after October, that is, this game have been played after October, then the rules were different. No matter Jaron would have faced. But in 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, everyone, of course, are waiting for October to be around. And that means it's David White to have crossed and hence faced the ball, smashed it away for 6. What is Harish Kakani's response to that 6? Would he bowl a Yorker? It's something that he's been working on in the nets for a long time. He delivers it. And he's brought the rabbit out of the hat at the right time. A Yorker when least expected. Difficult to get underneath. And the delivery independent of the surface. A tournament presenting sponsors. Mighty proud of that delivery, as it's fueled the best out of Harish Kakani and San Diego Surf Riders. Shot aside, and the ball was never to be seen again. Not quite sure if any fielder would bother retrieving this one. Go for a ball, explore the city of San Diego. It's beautiful indeed. David White gets it from the middle of the bat, and the cracking sound that made. That sound is enough to demoralize any bowler. That one didn't land according to plan. And David White latches onto it, sends it for 6. Score moves on to 194. 1 ball left. 200 still on the cards. If David White gets it right, boy it is. But what David White has done, and he's batted according to a plan, and he is batted according to what the management wanted him to do. He had given him a script to bat through. He paced his innings beautifully. And David White, 86 at the moment. Straight back at the ball out would would hurt Kakani a little bit, but what he's done is guided that ball to the nearest fielder. Vedant, a single to finish off. Oh, man, the second one as well. Sloppy work from San Diego Surf Riders. They have to be more proactive than that. It's the final ball of the over, final ball of the innings. The second run conceded as well. Momentum with the East Bay Blazers as they finish with 196 for 4 on a track which is looking decent for batting, and the ball's popping up at times when the spinners are in operation. 197 is the number that San Diego Surf Riders would require to put 2 more points on the board. Will they be able to get there? We'll find out when we'll come back with the chase of San Diego Surf Riders in just a bit. 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. East Bay Blazers taking on San Diego Surf Riders. 197 is what San Diego Surf Riders are after. In the air, will it be taken? Soft dismissal. The softest of dismissals that you would ever see in the world of cricket. Sri Anantaraju, just enough time for him to take guard and play the first ball. A leading edge, and Sanjay Krishnamurti, who was slow as ever, tossed it up and is sent back. One of the better batters of San Diego Surf Riders. It's a nightmarish start for San Diego Surf Riders as Sri Anantaraju departs without troubling the scorers. 0 for 1.
That's quite a contrast to the first innings where the first ball was cracked out for 4. So clearly East Bay Blazers have really started off with a bang, literally. Sri has not been having the best of seasons. He had a very good season last year. Just a little bit of confidence, and like most cricketers, Suhas, it's just that one innings that you're waiting for. A slip, gully, backward point, cover, mid-off on the offside, mid-on, and a deep, well, a short fine leg or mid-fine leg. As it looks like Iftikhar has come in to join the captain. Sanjay Krishnamurti. Good start. Using spin, left arm. Quicker, short, cut. Should be 2 at least as it's racing towards the boundary. Greg literally like a hare haying away. So 2 runs. And this has been the story of the day. The ball that is short, sits up, gives the batsman enough time. The important thing is not to flash at it, but to wait, keep your eyes on the ball, play it under your eyes. And there are runs for the taking here. So as I think East Bay Blazers showed that if you stayed on top of things and not swung blindly, a lot of runs in here. Krishnamurti again, light it up. This one is inside out over the inner fielders and should be 4. That's a good one from Iftikhar. And of course, you've got to moderate some of this. I mean, we got to applaud him for getting 4 on that, but you got to keep your eye on the ball. And here we are, Suhas, 6 runs of 3 balls, and guess what? 1 wicket down already.
I didn't have to wait much for the action. Continue with the second one, the second phase of the game. Second innings, indeed. Beautiful shot, indeed. Iftikhar didn't try to hit it hard at all, just utilizing the fact that the only 2 men patrolling the boundary rope in the first 6 overs, and just chipping it over the infield by ever so slightly turning the face of the bat as well to turn it with the spin. As Sanjay Krishnamurti, who was earlier operating with 2 slips, was trying to turn it away from the right-hander. Now only 1 slip. Man at deep mid-wicket, deep extra cover posted. Gets a boundary, picks up a single. Iftikhar borrowing a leaf out of David White's book. Surf Riders now would be tested at the mental level as well. How strong are they? The mental fortitude has got to be shown on a track which is doing a lot in terms of batting. It's a lovely track to bat on. Perhaps not from the bowler coming in from the reserve end. Otherwise, it's a good track to bat on. 187. It's not a big target. That's beautifully played. Work to do for Nawaz. Puts in the slide. Keeps it down to 2. It's not a dangerous track to bat on by any stretch of imagination. Just that from the reserve end, the spinners are getting a little bit more bounce. Despite this early jolt, you see San Diego Surf Riders on track with a couple of good innings from the top batters. Perhaps Greg Hay, there's Kakani to come.
Absolutely. That one comes in with the arm. And absolutely, Suhas. You've got to dig yourself in. There are runs in this wicket, 180 a little bit above that. So we'll come back after the break and talk more about this. It's Mark Dial now from the far end, the reserve end. So the Blazers starting with spin on both sides, Suhas. You've not probably seen too much of that. Usually they try one spinner, but a double spin attack, and clearly seeing that the wicket is slow. It's very, very slow, and particularly when you're spinning the ball and it's coming slow, it's really hard to smack it. San Diego, of course, kind of fed into the hands of the Blazers by bowling short, and when a wicket is sitting up. You're in trouble. So here's Mark. First ball, short. Oh, that kicked up, and it's we've got to have to take a look at the signal, but it's going to be 4 into the fence. We'll have to see Pankaj signal. Yes, it is a bye. So that's coming back to what you said, Suhas. The bowling from the reserve end. There is a spot to an off spinner in particular. You saw Devam Srivastava just kicking that ball up, and this was one of them. Now the question is, will they declare that over the shoulder for a spinner? Okay, because that ball certainly took off, and it went over if the current also went over the wicket keeper. So here we go again.
Yeah, we've already seen in world cricket spinners bowling those bounces. A reminder of Qais Ahmed. Now this is going to be quick, and because it wasn't a clean pickup, the single has been complete without any resistance whatsoever. Mark Dayal's not the happiest man on earth with that single being conceded. Now he's got a ball to Greg Hay. He's got some good innings under his belt in 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. A half century recently would have done a world of good to his confidence. A bad ball that deserved to be hit. 4 for the taking.
Also, has it looks like the Blazers are kind of giving San Diego back some of those short and inconsequential balls, and this was ranked bad, half tracker, and I love the way Greg got his bat and rolled the wrist, so he kept it down. There is a man waiting out in deep square leg, but this was on the backward square leg. So good thinking, short ball, and it needed to be punished, and it was. Mark again short, swung again, and should be the same result. Greg's helping himself. I'm glad he still has his appetite after lunch, but he certainly took that one on, and 2 fours of 2 consecutive balls.
Same region, same result, and almost a similar delivery as well. It's just that Greg is using the depth of the crease so nicely that he is able to counter the little bit of change in length that Mark has to give him. Greg Hay, extremely experienced. He's played the Plunket Shield back in New Zealand. Captains, players like Ross Taylor. This tells you the quality of the man and the quality of cricket that he has under his belt. Sensible. This shot is just a statement to the opposition. He wants to stay there for a longer time. He's not looking for a boundary every ball. Mark Dayal's not had a good start with the ball in hand. Usually he dictates terms from the word go, Mark Dayal. He just dictates terms. And that is the bowling in the right areas. Today he's been a touch short. First delivery was unplayable. So much so the keeper couldn't keep it down. After that, some ordinary bowling from Mark Dayal. Khan now, in search of gaps. He's already got a boundary under his belt. Khan. That's it well. He's called for 2. He's not given it much power, and that too deliberately. Contrasting styles of batting here. One man over the infield and picking up singles and 2s. 2 overs gone. 25 for 1.
Change of bowling here from the tennis court end. Nawaz Khan takes over. So that's it for spin. 2 overs, 1 for 25, and that's exactly what the East Bay Blazers were, except 1 wicket less. So it was none for 25 after a flying start, and so San Diego should be pretty pleased that they've got off to a flying start. Greg Hay capitalizing on those short balls. And let's see what Nawaz has now, because we're back to pace. Nawaz, first ball. Oh, beautifully cracked. That's a smashing shot. Tremendous use of his wrists. Effortless. Just a little chat and bang, 4 runs. Lovely shot, wasn't that, Suhas? Pleasure to watch.
Beautiful indeed, Jimmy. And the fact that he doesn't want to do anything out of the way. Just put his bat and rotate those wrists, lovely wrists, to guide the ball in the gap and not trying to hit it hard at all. It's such a blessing to watch. This is one of the reasons that we cover cricket, don't we, Jimmy, to watch shots of this kind. In 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. This one had width, and this one will go for 4. The fielder at third man will only be a fetcher. 2 balls, 2 fours. Not a good start for Nawaz. Great start for Greg Hay and San Diego Surf Riders. The only difference between these two sides initially, even though we compared both of them to have been on 25 as far as the scorecard's concerned after 2 overs, is that San Diego Surf Riders started with 2 paces and then realized spin is the way to go. And Pereira for Ainsworth Blazers has decided to go for the first 2 overs and then is thrown into the Pacers. And the pacer is going for runs. That's in the gap too. No, that's the second line of defense will cut it off. Very well fielded. One of the best in the business. Sanjay Krishnamurthy. And of course, Vikash Mohan. Terrific fielder indeed. There's a wall on the offside. 5 men inside the circle of the off. And Nawaz is bowling well. Extra bit of bounce. The first time we've seen extra bounce from the tennis court end. Greg Hay had to negotiate that nicely. Tried his best to keep it down as well, Jimmy. Again, the coming into play. The strong wrists of the Kiwi.
Soft hands, Suhas. Soft hands, and that's what makes a great player. When he needs to use his hard hands, you've seen that cracker through the offside, and when the ball came up above his waist, just a little soft hands, pushed it down, effortless singles. Now let's see the difference in class, because we've got Iftikhar taking on Nawaz. Again, outside edge, and that should be at least 1. Looking for the second, perhaps not the right idea, but a single nonetheless. So Iftikhar joining the run chase here, and it's 10 runs of this over. So San Diego cruising along. It's 1 for 35, considering that they lost the wicket in the first ball, Suhas.
A terrific comeback. And the positive mindset of Greg Hay has permeated to all the other men in the side as well. Nawaz has to close it out well to get some momentum back to his side. Bowls really well, but the edge does just enough to go for 4. That is one of the banes of being a fast bowler. One of the best deliveries indeed. But just the outside edge would be enough to send it for 4 on such a good outfield. A terrific over as far as Greg Hay is concerned. A terrific over as far as San Diego Surf Riders are concerned. End of 3, 39 for 1. It is a flyer indeed after losing a wicket first ball. Pace from one end. Be spin from the other. Sanjay Krishnamurthy has been given a change of ends. Because of that extra bit of bounce that every spinner is able to generate when he lands it right, just out of the reach of the batter, the 3/4 length, as they say. He's played a lot of cricket back in Bangladesh. Now calls USA his home. Iftikhar Ahmed. That's one of the beautiful things of 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. You'll see a melting pot of cultures. Cricketers from all around the world. We come together with a common cause. cut well. A man who comes from a lot of spinning tracks. He knows how to negotiate this one. If the car, as he picks up a single, puts Greg Hay back on strike. Now Greg Hay from New Zealand, Iftikhar from Bangladesh, Angelo Pereira from Sri Lanka. We've seen it's indeed a melting pot, this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, and it's only possible due to sponsors like Dafa News, our official sponsor, our tournament's title sponsor Toyota, and of course our presenting sponsors Sunoco, who are fueling this game, fueling the best out of all the cricketers. He's making the batters cut, and he's also got the quicker one. Jimmy again, Sanjay Krishnamurti, who's played for the Ebenezer School back in Bangalore. He's earned a name for himself. Was tall, lanky, lacked the power game, but then he transformed himself to be the best, and now even represented the USA. That's a good quick single by Greg Hay. Sanjay Krishnamurti, ever since he did so, rubbing shoulders with the best in the business, even in the USA camp. That was back in Oman, where he debuted at the Cricket World Cup League 2. He was just a treat to watch. And growing from strength to strength is this man, Sanjay Krishnamurti. Always puts his team first and even battles through an injury if his team requires him the most to bowl the 4 overs or bat with the bat in hand. Extra bit of bounce. This is he's found the spot. That spot has been made a mental note of. Jimmy, there is a golden spot. There is a golden spot as far as the bowler is concerned. There is a minefield as far as the batters are concerned.
Well, the question is, will that golden spot be mined correctly? And certainly not on this one, because Iftikhar negates that by coming down the wicket, cracking it over cover, and it's 4 more runs. So San Diego on a roll right now, and the score moving quick, 45. 1 for 45, and just under 4 overs at this stage. The Blazers were 1 for 40. So San Diego a little ahead of the run rate. It's Krishnamurti bowls this one again, short, cracked again off the back foot. I like the way the San Diego to turn and then going for their shots. So at the end of the 4th over, a pretty good start from San Diego. 46, 1 for 46, and Iftikhar now batting on, what's Iftikhar batting on? 17 runs, I guess. 17 of 12, and Greg Hay, who's making hay out of this, is already quickly up to 20 of just 12, 25 of just 12 balls.
Angelo Pereira, the captain of East Bay Blazers, has decided enough. It's time to roll my arm over. Inside out. The calls for 2, and 2 which will be with these 2 for the shot itself. Sharon Alfred was getting a deep extra cup. He's got a very good throwing arm as well, Sharon Alfred. What was it in mindset? Very first ball, waiting for the mending work to happen, going all guns blazing. Just choosing the right balls to be hit away. And also concentrating on singles and 2s. On that occasion, a good call not to run. Good work. But the field there. It's also important for Saidi Ganesh to be that to be a dot ball in the scorebook. Angelo Pereira, he's coming off a game which he knows his team could have won. They put up a brave fight indeed. And the difference between the two sides on that day, I would say, was fielding. East Bay Blazers were dropping catches. Anything that came to their hands, they put it down. That made the difference of about 20-25 runs, which they eventually had to chase. That is there to be hit in the slot out of the park. Greg Hay has got a simple equation. 50 comes up for San Diego Surf Riders. And that too in great style. He's choosing the right areas and didn't need much of an elevation. It's not a big boundary rope. Much like Spitting Cobra, just enough venom required according to the prey. Just enough power required according to the boundary rope he's targeting. Greg A picks up a single retained strike. A fantastic over has come to an end as far as San Diego Surf Riders are concerned. 56 for 1 at the end of 5. One more over to go to end the power play. Oh, what a start. Into 5 overs, 56 for 1. San Diego Surf Riders losing a wicket. Very first ball. This has been one of the best comeback stories you would see. Now, Saidip Ganesh has decided to come up to the stumps, but I don't feel so. He's got to come back because though that pitch is doing a bit from the preserve end, and that too he's wearing a hat, a floppy hat, not the helmet. Nawaz it's a false start for Nawaz. Just the right time to thank our presenting sponsor Sunoco, fueling the best out of the players. And it's only because of them, and of course our official sponsor Dafa News, our title sponsor Toyota for the second year running, the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship is able to be played and unfurl in great colors. Oh, what a good shot this one is. Pure authority. And then that was the last we saw the ball. No matter how good a car you have, you got a camera up top as well when you're driving by a cricket ground. He stopped just at the right time. Otherwise, there would have been a dent to show once he got home on the bonnet. I think that would have been a little souvenir that he wouldn't mind giving any of the cars around. Jimmy, where's yours parked?
Quite far away. In fact, you're going to have to be hitting about 120 meters to get to mine, but it's was again. And this one's hit straight back along the ground. 4 runs. That is spectacular. Sachin Tendulkar-like. Base of the bat, totally open, the way you've been taught. Elbow up, straight past the bowler for 4. That's a brilliant shot. Greg Hayes really showing his colors here and his class. San Diego quickly up to 1 for 66, and we're only in the 6th over. So, Haas, we are not done yet. The power play is still in play. And this is just class batting. And of course, the question is, can they keep going? 197 is no small task. And it's going to take some considerable amount of focus and batting, which we're currently seeing. Short again, and Greg pulls it. This time he'll probably get 2, but settles for 1. The throwing arms, I've noticed, have been very, very good from the Blazers side. But single nonetheless. 11 runs of this over, and I think that should be quite pleasing. One for 67, bringing Iftikhar. And I think Iftikhar probably going to have to play the role of an anchor. Greg's firing away. And that's a good ball outside the off stump. For a change, we've seen a ball that's a good length, pitching, moving, and certainly putting the batsman on trial here. Very, very few balls have been bowled of this level, Suhas, and that's kind of been a disappointment. I've been looking to see more of these, but all we've seen are short balls, and then when it is overpitched, it's right in the arc. This one again, nicely patted down. Greg Hay is very, very fast, as you can see, and he sprints across for a single. 12 runs of this over. It's a pretty good one for San Diego, with their clipping along now. Well over 12 runs and over. The run rate certainly going faster than what we saw at this stage. At the end of the sixth over, it was 54, Suhas.
Jimmy. That brings down the equation as well to 129 required in 14.1. That's 85 balls. The required run rate, 9.1. Still under control as far as Greg Hay and co are concerned. Nawaz, can he close it out well? They need a big moment here. East Bay Blazers, they're lacking momentum. They picked up a wicket very first ball, but it's been San Diego Surf Riders all through after that. Something to break the momentum required here for the East Bay Blazers. 6 overs gone. The restrictions of the first power play would be lifted. 69 for 1. Six overs gone. The first power play done and dusted with 69 for 1. And looks like it's going to be Kulpreet, who's got another game. The first one was something that he learnt a lot from, and he vowed to come back with a great spell. Can he deliver today? His team requires him to pick up a wicket. Mind you, Pramjot's playing this game too. He's been around the team for a while, soaking in the atmosphere. Now that he gets a game, it will be very interesting to see the leg spinner in operation, especially from the reserve end, Jimmy. And captain trusts that it's going to be medium pace, which can do the trick at the moment. Much needed wicket. Can he get it? Pitch, as far as East Bay Blazers are concerned, 43 of just 18 balls. He's got his team to a flyer. Iftikhar providing the extra pair of hands to Greg. That's there for the drive. From Jodh, the man in the deep will not get to it. That'll be 4. Kulpreet gets it a touch full, and Greg Hay latches onto it so beautifully. You would have enjoyed this one.
So you're telling me I'm really old, aren't you, Suhas? Yes, that was classical copybook style, foot to the ball, shoulder over the ball, and bang. Here we go again. Short, nicely steered. That should be a single. Good thinking. Greg on to 48 already, and 49. San Diego moving very, very quickly. 74. 1 for 74, and just in the 7th over. Kulpreet Singh getting a lot of advice from everybody around. Of course, he probably wants to listen to his captain the most. I wonder what the advice is. What do you do when someone like Greg is playing virtually every shot in the book? And brilliant cricket. It's not been wild. It's not been swinging madly at the ball. It's treating every ball on its merit. And Iftikhar has been, doing his part too. Let's see what he does. Short again. And this is high over the wicket keeper. 4 more runs. When you've got the luck, you've got the luck. And San Diego making a brave effort on home grounds, playing against a very, very, very strong East Bay Blazer team. 4 more runs.
This has to be a special delivery. Kulpreet is someone who's been practicing the magic ball, as he likes to call it. Would it be this one, and he vowed that he'd be bowling it only after boundaries been hit in the most unlucky manner. The slower delivery, but if the car has picked the trajectory, if the car is treated as a low full toss and put it away for a single, a little unlucky there, Kulpreet. Best of his deliveries, getting the better of not just the batter, but of course no chance for the keeper on that occasion. The outfield is quick too. Would run away for 4 more often. It's a team that has learnt a lot from their first outing ever since this tournament started in Seattle for them. Again, the slower delivery. He's worked on it. You could sense that he's worked on it with the way he's landing it properly. Here picks up a single, reaches his half century, and a little show of the bat to the crowd that acknowledges his half century. And of course, the team which needs him to stay there the most just tells you that it's a reassurance as well. It's reassurance that the captain's there. He's got it under control.
Suhas, a brilliant 50 in 22 balls. And now the question is, like Greg, can he build on that? Go for 100. That's what the team needs. Short, outside the leg stump. That'll be a wide. And Greg, having played the level of cricket that you did describe, Suhas, is certainly professional enough to know that he's got to settle in and get the next 50. 144 to 50 balls would be something. But this is what we're going to wait and see, and let's see what Wilfred has for the last ball. Here he goes. Again, slow ball. He waited for it, pushes it down. Soft hands, an effortless single. Good batting here by San Diego. Very, very good batting. And at the end of the 7th over, we've got up to 80. 1 for 82. Excellent.
Seven overs gone, 82 for 1. Captain Greg Hay, 22 balls, 50 on the board. He's holding this innings together. If the car is batting so well along with the captain, he's targeting the right balls and putting them away for 4. That inside-out shots, in the inside-out shots, 2 of them that he played, and 1 cut shot. Unforgettable for any connoisseur of cricket. Ashdeep Brar, he's got that extra height. But he's bowling to someone who's so good at the cut shot, would be a single for sure. If the car wants the second has to be negated. The throw is on its way. The second run would have been suicidal, and that is where a calm, cool, and collected person like Greg Hay makes his presence felt. Negated the second, and rightly so. Saideep Ganesh is one of the best fielders in the entire tournament, one of the best keepers. I beg your pardon. Collected it at a comfortable height as well, Jimmy. If the car is so itchy to get to the striker's end again. Greg Hay was a little swallowed by the appeal. Jimmy, now this game's entered to a different phase altogether. What would Greg Hay be telling himself? New bowler, try and attack, or let the game play out? He can get there on this kind of a track. Oh, that's again the minefield talking.
Yes, certainly. For the first time, you just have that feeling the bowler has got something in it. And Greg's got to have to put his head down. This is where a couple of, soft singles here and there. Just get the feel here. Again, that one was coming in. Saideep, really, the way he moved forward, grabbed the ball, flicked the bails off. Yes, that's what I said, Suhas. This is where you got to take your time, watch the ball, and 2/3 of the way down.
And Ed, man on the off. Greg will pick up a single. You got to love this counter attack from East Bay Blazers. They've strung together dot deliveries, bowled it in the right areas. Is this the over they require to gain some momentum? Otherwise, in the seesaw battle, it's been San Diego Surf Riders for a long time indeed. If the wants that single again, quick to get to it. The fielder, a wonderful over indeed as from Jodh Panisa collects the ball. 8 overs, 84. Four for one. The captain needs to pick up the second wicket. This partnership of 84 has started to hurt the East Bay Blazers. And they're quickly recognizing that 113 required in 72 balls on this kind of a track. The game is on with 9 wickets in hand. Puff of dust and the ball races away. There is a slope there. The slope will carry the ball forward. For the taking. And Jelo Pereira not amused. There was so much of dust there for a moment. We have no clue where the ball was. The ball obscuring itself in a sandstorm, as it would like to call. That is launched in the most elegant of fashions. Over long gone for 6. And Jelo Pereira gets it a touch full. And that is the margin of error when you're bowling to Greg Hay in tremendous touch. 10 runs of the first 2 balls. The previous one from Oh, cut away this time. Nawaz was the third man inside the circle. Would be 14 runs in the first 3 balls. This over belongs to Greg Hay. Half an over done and dusted with, and 14 runs accumulated, Jimmy. This seesaw battle looks like San Diego back there again, up top.
What do you know? San Diego at 1 for 98 now, and we're just in the 9th over. So it's a question of how long these two can. Yeah. This one is driven absolute copybook. All along the ground for a single out.
Jaron Alfred, he's thrown it back to the captain. He also suggested that he's ready to come in and bowl if his services are required. Jaron Alfred has been amongst the wickets so many times. He's played match between innings with the bat as well. It's gone, got him! This is what Angelo Pereira was looking for. If the car a touch late on that occasion to play the cut shot, the ball never turned, held its line, robbed him of the room that he required to play a shot of that kind. Timber disturbed and much needed wicket for East Bay Blazers. The captain proves to be the man with the golden arm despite going for runs in the initial part of the over.
That was an absolutely beautiful arm ball. You could see Iftikhar shaping, watching, waiting for that ball to turn away from him, but it came straight on and he was just jammed, absolutely no room. So a very, very good and a very important wicket. What a partnership, Suhas. 99 runs. And having lost a wicket in the very first ball, that put additional pressure. So hats off to them. A great innings. Now it's up to Greg Hay to stabilize in here, or Nikhil in. He's been in tremendous form. He's going to have to play to his form, and if he does, you know, a 50 to 70 run partnership here could seal it for San Diego. But cricket, game of glorious uncertainties. Usually, when one wicket falls, there's always that proverbial jinx of the second wicket. Will San Diego be able to overcome that? But as it stands, it's a good fight back. They're almost halfway there, or pretty much exactly halfway there. Looking for another 98 to go. 8 wickets in hand, and they've got over 10 overs. So a lot depending again on the shoulders of Greg Hay.
Absolutely, Jimmy. The way the first 6 overs were treated, utilizing the power play despite losing an early wicket, it was such a treat to watch from San Diego Surf. A mixed bag as far as Angelo Pereira is concerned. He's picked a lot of runs in this over. End of 9, 99 for 2. It comes up for San Diego Surf Riders, 9.1 overs. Arshdeep Brar just away 2 runs. Just 2 runs, would you believe it? Such an important over that was to rob the momentum of San Diego Surf Riders, but they came out all guns blazing in the next one. Angelo Pereira's first 3 balls, lucky boundary, 2 was smashed away by Greg Hay. And then, of course, Iftikhar's wicket too. Place for Arshdeep Brar. Nikhil Datta, who's played a lot of spin. Born in Kuwait, but identifies himself as a Canadian for the nation. Oh, what a good shot this one is. But will be kept down by Angelo Pereira. It's kept it as straight as possible for Nikhil Datta, who's read the game so well. Now for Greg, however, that long off is slightly wider. A little late to start was Jaron Alfred, but he's so quick on his feet. They'll get there quickly and dispatch the throw even quicker. Wow. Any other fielder could have been 2 runs, but he attacks the ball in straight lines, Jimmy, and that is why you attack the ball in straight lines. You cut down the distance between you and the ball the quickest of time. Hasn't he been so good? Bowling according to the field, being as miserly as possible, perhaps an attribute that goes well only with a bowler. And not afraid to toss the ball up as well. Nawaz, will he take it? No, he doesn't. An opportunity gone down. Standards, that was a catch lead. Greg Hay gets it away. Nikhil Datta on that occasion. Nikhil Datta gets his first 6. Halfway stage, San Diego Surf Riders 108 for 2. .108 for 2 in 10 overs. I'm Suhas Vedam, joined by Jimmy Ankle Saria. 89 required of 10 overs. Now with 8 wickets in hand, with the way San Diego Surf Riders are going, you've got to say they're on top. But man with other ideas would be Sanjay Krishnamurthy, who picked up a wicket very first ball and he's got a love affair with this end. Can he pick up another? Greg Hay is the big fish as far as the East Bay Blazers are concerned. I'm very surprised not to see that. I've got a feeling he would have been given an over in the first 10 overs, not to be. Angelo Pereira. Let's stick to the finger spinners. Very good delivery from Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Jimmy, how much has Sanjay Krishnamurthy, the youngster, inspired so many around the world with the way he treats his game, the way he goes about his business?
Very, very impressed with him. He's got that calmness about him, which is, unusual for someone so young. And here he is now bowling to Nicol, who again dabs it with soft hands, trying to get that single. As you said earlier, Tim seems to have swung a little bit back. Probably gets the benefit of the bounce there. San Diego making a valiant attempt here to curtail this very, very strong East Bay Blazers. Sanjay Krishnamurthy striking with his very first ball for the San Diego innings. This one again, faster. It's cut this time. Good fielding, pouncing on the ball. No chance of a single. Greg very quickly sending Nicol back. Datta's quite keen on getting going here. He has had a six. Also, as I said, Suhas, it's really you can see the bowler slowly beginning to. Nicely off the back foot. They should be looking for two. Fields on the boundary, but they're going for three, and that's very good running. Excellent running from Greg Hay. Very good presence of mind. He noticed the fielder there was not, and three quick runs for Nicol Datta. That brings us to the end of the 11th over now. 2 for 112, San Diego. Greg Hay is now on 69. Playing remarkably well, patient, knowing when to go for the balls, and what a fantastic strike rate.
He holds the key to this run chase, Greg. And East Bay Blazers as well know that it's Greg Hay, the main man.